My own view is this. I have observed that the National Assembly, when you raise the question of the allowances, they all unite and go into a corner. When you raise the question of their, what were the insertions for their constituency project, they all come together and form a unit. And that's what he's trying to portray, that the majority of members are behind the speaker. Oh yes, of course. If there's something to hide, all of them must unite at the man who wants to, cover up. My view is this. I hope Mr. President or his aides are listening to this program. I would suggest that Mr. President should institute a judicial commission of inquiry to look into the total aspect from 1999 to date, how much the National Assembly have voted in relation to appropriation for their constituencies projects, how much of this have been, done, and, possible, anywhere the monies are or anything, then the government should be able to get it back for us.
Welcome back to the program, everyone. Let's move straight into the matter now. After that exclusive interview we had with Honorable Abdulmumin Jibrin just over a week ago, so many reactions followed. One which was the exclusive interview we had with the Chief Whip of the House, Honorable Hassan Adodogoa, responding to some of the allegations made by Honorable Jibrin. Well, Honorable Jibrin has come forward with some more allegations and saw more revelations on this matter. Just about yesterday, he has been talking again, even when the party has said nobody should talk about this. But he has his own explanation. He says that if the speaker could have interview with the media, then he has the right to also speak his mind. And of course, he's coming forward with some more allegations. Now, some of these I'm going to be reading to you now and showing right on your screen. He's alleging that some people are blocking him to see President Muhammadu Buhari to say his own side of the story. He's also alleging that there is a grand plan by a group of 2 governors and 3 former members of the National Assembly. Well, what of this grand plan? What does it entail? He says that he also alleged that there are attempts to give soft landing to principal officers from corruption investigation. That look, the plan is to shield some of these principal officers from being investigated. He also says that there are allegations that the Speaker and 3 others connived with some committee chairmen to insert into the budget over 2,000 items worth 284 billion naira. That's according to Honorable Jibrin. He also said that the Speaker Dogara collects 25 million naira monthly just to spend it the way he wants. That's according to Honorable Jibrin. He also alleges that the grand plan is also to peg the blackmail on religious line. Is now reaching out to former Nigerian leaders to intervene in the matter since he's not been able to speak with President Muhammadu Buhari. Well, let's get some perspectives into this matter. Don't forget, Honorable Jibrin was a former chairman of the Appropriations Committee, and several allegations, also counter-allegations rather, coming on him. Let's get to speak with one of the members of the Appropriations Committee who worked with Honorable Jibrin. Representative Daniel Reyenieju joins us from our Abuja studio. Many thanks for joining us on the program. One thing that is on the mind of everybody is this subject of padding, and some people will say there's no padding. Some will say, oh, where there is padding. Some in fact have said that padding has been with the National Assembly from 1999, from inception. But well, I would like to put it to you, in the 2016 budget that you and your colleagues worked on, you're a member of the Appropriations Committee. Was the 2016 budget padded?
Sheila, thank you. It's an honor to have me here. I am a top 10 member of the House and a member of the Appropriation Committee. And I equally sub-shared about 6 committees during the appropriation budget defense period in the House in the 2016 budget. I equally saw a lot of things that happened. I saw some myself. We discussed some. And the Appropriation Committee actually did its job professionally the way it ought to be done. And that was why I was a little bit worried. I was worried when I saw members of the Appropriation Committee led by the deputy chair of the committee came out and said, look, oh, we were not carried along. We did all we needed to do. But I would say authoritatively that the budget was padded. But the language is what is in contention. Whether it's padded, whether it's an insertion, whether it's senseless insertion, whether it's forgery, whether it's smuggling of figures into the budget without express knowledge of the Appropriation Committee is another thing. But whether we like it or not, Nigerians must know that there's allegations that some few figures or some huge figures was actually imputed into the budget after the Appropriation Committee must have done its job. It is true, it is real, it is not controvertible. It is there on the budget as passed by the House.
Okay, Honorable Reyenieju, let me quickly ask you. There are very strong allegations made by Honorable Jibrin, and one of which was the fact that the ones that are implicating the leadership of the House of Representatives. Any of these allegations true in any sense of it?
Well, the allegations, like I said, they are there in the budget. It is now left for Nigerians to verify. I have verified it myself. Is it true that some projects were put, or excessive projects were put into the budget after the Appropriation Committee must have done its job? Is it true that these projects were put in the respective constituencies of principal officers of the Assembly? Is it true that most of these figures were not actually brought to us while we were dealing with the budget at the committee level? Is it true that these figures are actually not figures that came with the budget originally from the executive? These are some of the questions that we need to look into. And if I ask if it is true, and I've outlined about 3, 4, 5, 6 questions, it is true that all of these allegations that Honorable Jubril has put on the table are all there in the budget as passed. It's a public document.
All right.
So for anybody to say, yes, it is there, but it is not padding, at what point did those figures come in?
All right. Because one of the things that one will be looking at, if you would tell us you were part of that process, maybe give us 1, 2, 3 instances of some of the items that you think were senselessly inserted in the budget. It will help Nigerians appreciate what you're talking about here.
Very good. I'll start by telling you that, first of all, most people do not ordinarily understand what Parliament is. Parliament is an arm of government for the people of this great country. It is not just an ordinary arm. Parliament is democracy. Without Parliament, there can't be democracy. We have to go into the political philosophy, where you have evolving people like Thomas Hobbes, who said, look, every human being has his right, and that right will be donated to an absolute power. And for that absolute power not to corrupt absolutely, there has to be separation of powers. That brings us to Parliament. And I must tell you again that, for example, if you go to the budget, go to the Speaker's constituency, you will see him having 7 billion projects in his constituency, where those projects actually came with the budget from the executive. And if it didn't come with the original budget that was submitted, at what point did those projects get into the budget? Because I was in the appropriation. Most of those projects were not captured from the standing committees to the appropriation when we were doing our defense. For example, again, you go to the Niger Delta Ministry, which was one of the committees that I actually sub-chaired. We had a budget that was presented to us. We never touched the budget. We never touched the budget as presented by the chairman of the committee when he came before the committee of an appropriation. But when we went on this short vacation and came back, that budget was completely distorted. These are in the public domain.
Just a moment,
first budget that was rejected by the Mr. President. And the second one that was
just a moment.
out.
Let's take a short break, and when we return, we'll get more thoughts about these. Stay with us.